good.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got head coach Gary Andersen. I'll have coach make an opening comment on tonight's game, and then you guys can ask questions.
Oh, well, that was a fight for sure. Kids battled through a lot of things. Battled through weather delay. They battled through 5 turnovers to 0 at one point in the game. We come back and got a couple of huge turnovers for us. But they fought. They battled. Was not perfect by any means. There was a lot to work on. I thought the defense continually just got put in poor spots tonight and found a way to keep on fighting, keep on battling, and score points themselves. So it was great to see just the resilience of the football team. We had to run the ball. It was good to see us be able to run the ball effectively, to grind out the clock and actually take some time off the clock. So there's a lot we can grow and we can learn from this football game. But ultimately, it's a great team victory, and all 3 phases did some positive things. All 3 phases did some things that they can do better. The long field goal was huge. It was right on the cusp of where he's comfortable in a nice day with no wind, and that wasn't a nice day with no wind. And I thought the punting game was very solid, except for obviously the block was a huge negative. But you're fortunate if you win a football game 5 turnovers to 2. You're fortunate to win. Probably win that game 7 to 10% of the time, I'd say, maybe less. But we did it, and these kids are resilient. I'm very proud of them, and we're looking forward to watching this tape and get on to the next one.
How much did the weather affect those turnovers?
Oh, I don't think they did. I don't think the weather affected any of those turnovers that I saw at all. They on either side, quite frankly. So the weather is something that you have to be able to deal with, and we talk about it all the time, and we're going to continually talk about this. If you're going to be where we play football, you better be able to handle weather, and you better be able to run the ball effectively late in games. It's the way it's going to be if you're going to be a consistent team that plays very meaningful games in the month of November. And this one just happens to be a lot earlier than November. But I don't think the weather was a factor with the turnovers. It was a factor with the offenses, but it wasn't a factor with the turnovers.
As a coach, how gratifying was it to see a senior like Gerald Bright just mentally bounce back from that fumble and really, he really just ran hard tonight.
He did, and he was after Jalen was out. It was a G Bright show, and he's trained for this. He's worked for this moment. He wants that ball in his hands in those certain situations, and when you have 179 yards and your long run is 15 yards, that doesn't happen very often. There's a lot of grinding yards in that thing, of the 179 yards. So I'm happy for him. He's worn out. He needs to go home and get a good meal in his belly and lay down and sleep for probably about 10 or 12 hours. But he was a workhorse, and we needed him in those moments. And the offensive line gave us an opportunity to get those holes, and he was a big physical run along with the tight ends. And so real happy for him for his senior year to be able to do that. And when we needed him at the most, he came through, and that's a pretty special spot and a pretty fun spot to be for a competitor.
Coach, Jordan Love didn't really seem like himself tonight. Did you notice anything that may have led to that? Or?
No, nope, I did not. And Jordan Love is a great player. He's done many great things here. And when it doesn't go Jordan's way for a play here or a play there, you got to look at the tape. I mean, there's guys pushing down the pocket. There's maybe hands in his face. There might be this. There might be that. Who knows what the situation is? It could be, a wrong route. The thing about it is when a quarterback turns around and makes a mistake, or we all think he makes a mistake as we watch it from the sidelines, or quite frankly, we watch it as fans, or we watch it as media people, we don't know the whole big picture. Was the route run right? There's a lot of things that could go into that. So the position he plays, it goes right back onto him. But it doesn't in my mind, and he's our guy, and he'll always be our guy, and we'll bounce back and try to make it better as a football team, to make it better for him so those situations don't happen. He made some big runs when he had to, led the team, didn't get his dauber didn't drop at all. He just got up and kept on fighting. So he's the ultimate competitor, and the one thing he's happy about tonight is his team won.
Did Jordan take a lot of that on himself, like the accountability for those mistakes, and just
I think any competitor does. Any competitor in your situation, when you compete at this level, if things don't go your way, You're going to, you're going to look at yourself and put it on yourself first, and functionally continue to work with your teammates to work to get better every week, and make sure you're bringing your teammates up. But if you're a true competitor, I think you do put that back on yourself, and that's why he's great.
How big was it that the defense was able to limit the damage in some of those turnovers, especially the first, beginning of the second half, to limit them to a field goal? Just how big was that?
Yeah, it was huge. Like I said earlier, the defense I felt stepped up. They had a good look in their eye. They're playing what was 11 strong tonight, and it felt like they were in it for each other, but they want to make the plays by themselves. They want to make those tackles. They want to get the PBUs. They want to get the pick. But they were playing as a full defense, and whatever 11 guys were there. And as you notice, we rotated a lot of people in there, especially on the defensive front. And there's a lot of unselfishness on that defense. There's a lot of will to want to get better, and they continue to work in this room throughout the week and in their individual rooms throughout the week to adjust the schemes. And I thought the coaches did a nice job with them this week of putting them in positions, but they executed them at the end. And I thought Colorado State was kind of a little bit on the run with what we were kind of doing on defense, and that's what you want to do on defense, because that's a heck of an offensive team out there.
You talk about improvement, and it seems like the secondary played especially well tonight. Troy Ledford back at safety had a great game, and he showed up pretty well. That makes 2 games in a row your secondary has kind of stepped up compared to early in the year. Is this kind of what we should expect from that group now?
I hope so. Yeah, that's where we want to go, right? Play real good, and I thought they were solid. And we've got to go back and evaluate the film. But again, I like the way they looked. I like the way they competed. They were vicious in their attempts to tackle when they had the opportunity to tackle again, which is great to see. And there was just some real good communication. They hit us on a couple, and really, really good job by Colorado State. They got us into some of our stuff in cover 2 and forced us to adjust. And the kids didn't panic, and I thought the coaches did a nice job of adjusting to that, to give us a chance to be able to either disguise that coverage a little bit so they don't see exactly what we're doing pre-snap, or adjust the kids. And we did both of those. The kids took the adjustments, and it didn't rear its head again. So this back end is growing. I think they're taking the coaching, but again, they have to be able to want to go out and get it done themselves, and they're competing, and they got a lot of want to in them to get better every single week, and it's fun to see those kids develop.
Coach, you guys did really well on late downs, 3rd and 4th down. You guys went 9 of 19. I mean, you held Colorado State to 4 of beats on the night. How do you instill the mentality in your players to be able to come through in the clutch on 3rd and 4th down, be able to stay on the field on offense, and then also get off them on defense?
Well, we practice it a lot, but the biggest thing I can say in those situations on 3rd downs, our team competes very, very well against each other when they have those opportunities. We go good on good during the week, and we don't do it a lot, but we do it enough to keep them fresh and keep them moving. It matters to these kids who wins those days. On Tuesday, it matters who wins. Wednesday, it matters who wins 3rd downs. I think that's a big part of it. But the most important part of that is we have a group of kids that wants to learn. They don't just worry about football at 1:45 until 4 o'clock at night. They put in a lot of time studying the film on their own, being around each other. But at the end of the day, players make plays, players win games, and that's what 3rd and 4th down is all about. Kids have to be able to make plays when they're put in that position, and they did obviously a good job of that tonight. Which is it's fun to see that for kids to have that success. It puts a smile on my face for them to be able to succeed in those critical moments, because that's why they play this game.
Coach, you obviously want to kind of soak in this win, but what kind of challenge this week do you have preparing for top 10 LSU team?
Top 4, right? Playoffs tomorrow, they're in, right? So they're in. You're right. We're going to enjoy the heck out of this one. That was a hard-fought battle. We're 2-0 in conference. We play some good football teams, and we're going to definitely enjoy this. And we've got a tremendous opportunity. This football team has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fly out of Baton Rouge and play in that stadium and play against a top 4 team. They'll never get that opportunity again in their lives. This team will never get that opportunity again. So it's a special opportunity. They're going to look at it. They'll be excited. Much respect. There's a lot of coaches that we know from the past here that are on that staff, and they know they got a really good team, and we know they got a really good team, and we got a really good team that likes to fight like crazy. So we're going to fly over there, and we're going to do all we can to represent Utah State the best way possible. But I'll tell you one thing is we're going to enjoy this one tonight, and don't worry about that tomorrow.
Coach, being the defensive guy that you are, can you talk about David's play and how big that was when he forced the fumble and kind of waltzed into the moment?
Huge play, obviously. And David has just such a knack for he's a playmaker. And he's always around the ball. He has so many things that you just can't teach and you cannot coach. And that's his instincts. And that's what great football players have. If they're great at their position, they have special things that they were just born with that allows them to be a great football player. And that's what David is. And he's instinctive, he's smart, he's tough, he's a worker, he's a grinder. He takes care of his body. We try to help him take care of his body as much as we possibly can. But he's he's a special player, and I'm glad he's on our team. I'll tell you that much. So that was a big time play and a huge moment that flipped the game. And you're going to be a special team, be a good team, potentially be a great team. You have to have a few of those plays out there, and you have to have special players to make them. And he did it for us tonight. Both of those guys did it tonight. We good? Okay. Thank you, guys. Go Aggies.
Thank you, Coach.
Good boys. Love you.